Alright, hello and welcome back to my Eruption of Shame. Today we have the August 2023 games and, well, I personally am like, oh. But it's mostly because I already own a lot of these games, and that's not anyone's fault except for mine. So let's have a look through here. The headline this week, or this month, is Disco Elysium, which is pretty much critically acclaimed. In fact, definitely is critically acclaimed. It's basically an RPG, sort of, where you investigate a murder, and you do so, more interestingly, through your emotions. So essentially, instead of leveling up skills and perks and abilities, you instead level up, well, these. And they're different parts of your psyche. And each of those parts will have different things to say during the storyline, which will help you get through or sometimes actually negatively impact your journey. I must say, for a headliner, if you haven't played this game, it's pretty great. Like, honestly, Disco Elysium was a fantastic game when it released. However, there was a little bit of, problems with Disco Elysium. So, just keep that in mind. Basically, the studio who owns Disco Elysium basically fired everyone who worked on it. And there was a bunch of controversy just this year, just a few months ago, about the treatment of devs at the studio. So while you might take this as a good time to get Disco Elysium without feeling bad, just keep it in mind that there's a knife like perched precariously over this game. And while it's a good game, and it definitely is worth all its accolades, yeah, you may never see anything like it again, because, there's no one around who made it. So, yeah, that bit of a downer for the first little thing. I used to saying, oh yeah, this game's really good because blah blah blah, or this game's really bad because blah blah blah. No, not this time. It's just literally pain and controversy. The next one, however, Chivalry 2. This is one of the few games in this bundle I don't already own. The rest of them will be going to friends, I suppose. It's a multiplayer action game, and I don't really care about it that much because obviously I'm not a big multiplayer person. I always used to mix up Chivalry and Bannerlord. I thought Bannerlord was similar to this, but no. Bannerlord is much better, in my opinion. Chivalry is not my sort of game, but you never know. I own it now, so I guess we'll see how that goes. It does have very positive reviews, and it is quite an expensive game to pick up, so it's not a bad thing to pick up in the Humble Bundle. Yeah. Next game is Road 96. I keep clicking off that by mistake. This is one I bought. Like, specifically, I went on my way to buy. I just haven't actually gotten around to playing yet. Essentially, from what I can tell, it's one of those road, road trip sort of games where you're going down the road, you're meeting different people, you're having a good time. Similar to that game I played a while back called Hitchhiker. So that's interesting to me that they're going to be doing that. And it looks like they're doing a much better job at it. No horror elements or similar here. So I am looking forward to this game, and I think if you don't own it, it might be a good little random thing to pick up. So I think Road 96 is good. I hope it leads the way for the sequel to being in the Humble Bundle, which I don't own yet. But yeah, no, it just looks very interesting. Then we have Trek to Yomi, black and white action adventure by Devolver Digital. Now, Devolver Digital is known for their weird stuff and the fact that they will support things which aren't necessarily quote-unquote normal. That being said, I do remember Trek to Yomi having some fairly good reviews back at the time. I was never overly interested in it due to the, I'm not a real big fan on samurais, and also due to the black and white nature of the game. That being said, it doesn't seem like a horrible pickup, given that it's not something that people would buy unless they were into it. So that's a good thing, right? Then we have Arcade Paradise. Now, this one appears to be one of those games that's like one of those Unreal Engine games that's been made to do a task, like the Hobo Simulator or but at the same token, it does have pretty good reviews, and it does actually look pretty good. So maybe it'll actually live up to its expectations. So yeah, 90s fueled retro arcade adventure. Rather than washing rags for a living, you decide to turn a family laundrette into the ultimate arcade. So in theory, this could be either really good or really, really eh. And I kind of look forward to finding out what it is. It does look like there's a bit of effort and a bit of love here. They've got all the mini games in there, so I mean, yeah, I'd say this is certainly a good pickup for this Humble Bundle. Just because I'm pretty sure this one could easily slip under people's radars. Then we have Such Art, an art simulator. Honestly, this one always felt like something which should be on, which should be primarily a VR game. So yeah. Annoyingly, it does not have VR support, which is a shame. That being said, it still looks fun and stupid and random, and as I already own this will be another gift. I think my sister has it on her wish list, so I'll probably give it to her. She's a lot more artistic than I am anyway. So yes. Then Tin Can. Now this is one I don't have, but I have seen it played before. Basically, you're in a tin can and you're trying to repair everything as it breaks. Sounds interesting, also sounds terrifying, also sounds like another game that would probably be a little bit better if it was in VR. Because honestly, a couple of these games, they're very much about like holding stuff in your hand, doing first person actions and such. It feels like this is another game which would be better in VR. And guess what? This one actually has VR support, which is fantastic. So that's really good. I'm glad. Because it definitely feels like a game which I would want to play in VR if I was going to play it at all, which I probably will because that's the whole point of the channel. So yes, I appreciate when a game like this also has a VR mode, because there's not too many games of the VR, and there's something really immersive about being in a space like this and having to like look around and such. It works really well in VR because you don't need to walk around, so you don't get as sick, you don't get as tired. It's just fun. Next one is Hot Brass. Looks like a Hotline Miami almost-ish style stealth game where you play as a SEAL team, or at least a member of a SEAL team. Yeah, it's one I've never heard of before, so that's a positive. But overall, it looks okay. Looks okay. It'll depend on how far they go down the other elements. Like, there's clearly an equipment system here, but does that double down with a RPG system? Or is that like some form of progression? Because if so, maybe it could be a good one. Overall, this is a fairly decent bundle if you don't own the games already. It's got a nice variety of games, which, quite frankly, some of them are games which people wouldn't have bought before. I'm still a little bit annoyed about the online-only game, because you know those will eventually die out. Though Chivalry has been around for long enough, it's probably okay. So yeah. For now, though, we've still got some more games to check out very quickly today. So, first of all, we have the Amazon Prime games. Now, Prime Gaming also offers things. So, if you go to the Prime Gaming page, if you go to the Prime Gaming page like this, and then you click on Weekly Game, you can go down and claim everything that's coming out as it comes out. Now, generally, it will tell you what sort of game you're getting. So if it's got the crown, that means it's on the Amazon platform. Now, this is actually not a bad thing because it stays with you even after you quit Amazon Prime, apparently, from what I hear. Most games will be delivered on this. However, some are given out on Epic, some are given out on GOG, some are given out, and that's about it. I don't think we've ever had a Steam game through Amazon, which makes sense. They're not exactly being buddy-buddy with them all in this. They're trying to clearly make an alternative, but that's okay. But overall, yeah, the games can be middling of quality, but sometimes they can actually be really interesting and good. Like, if they are, usually they're given out on Epic, on GOG. But yeah, that's maybe handled there. Some of them are given out on this weird, like, weird platform I've never really used before. And those are basically just Magic Eye games and stuff like that. So yeah, anyway, what's coming to Amazon Prime? They have stopped, obviously, doing the one drop thing, but there are still some things coming out over the next little while. The first is Payday 2 and one DLC. I'm not sure where this is going to be. Like, it can't really be on Amazon because it's a multiplayer game, like entirely. And like GOG, I don't think really does Payday. So maybe Epic? But here's the problem with that. Payday 2 has quite a sizable number of DLC. So I feel like realistically this isn't even the first hit of heroin. It's like half a hit. It's like at this point there's so much DLC. Like literally 379 Australian dollars worth of DLC. That quite frankly, you'd be better off waiting for the next Payday game and just moving on to that. So it's a really weird choice to me that they'd only give you one DLC with this whole thing. But okay, fair enough. It says the Gauge Mod Courier is the one you get for free. Which quite frankly, let's have a look at what this adds. Mod Courier, 28 new weapon modifications sync with. Okay. Once again, like, you want more than that. Like, it's a game that's got $300 worth of DLC, but okay. Next game, Farming Simulator 19. Now, it is overwhelmingly positive and all that, but there has been other farming simulators after this, so I'm not sure why. Like, what the point is. But, oh well, I guess that's fine. It says here they've released a Platinum expansion pack a few years ago. But that's in 2019 still. I know, I'm not sure why this one is so much better than the others, but it's coming out for free on August 10th. So, yes. Then we've got Blade Assault, which is the first one of the Amazon things I don't think I've seen before. Then again, last time I said that, I totally owned it. So it's a 2D action roguelike platformer, which seems right up my alley, which is fairly good. Then we got Star Wars The Force Unleashed 2. This is following up from last month's Force Unleashed. This is coming out on August 17th. The previous two were coming out on August 10th. And essentially, yeah, okay. It's more Force Unleashed. Should be said, this one I don't remember having as positive of a review cycle as the first one. It also, from my memory, came out fairly quickly after the previous one, which seemed a little bit weird, but that's okay. Next one is Four Tales, another, like, card battler sort of board game sort of thing, which, once again, sounds pretty good. I mean, I know these things are dime a dozen on Humble and on Amazon, but like, I kind of like it. I'm kind of here for it. This one feels like it might be going for more of like a Hearthstone-y sort of vibe than a Slay the Spire file. Like, yeah, so that's pretty good. Next is Driftland. This is also on August 17th. This game is what appears to be a spiritual successor, and have played it once or twice. You know, it's good enough. It's good enough. I don't even know if I played on Steam, so it might actually be on my mountain too, because I don't remember if I. Anyway, point is, Driftland is a spiritual successor to another game that came out a while ago. At least I think it is, anyway, and that is Netstorm. So it looks and feels and kind of plays similar to the old Netstorm, where you used to expand between islands, build your bases, and build up defenses, and then fight. A very simple but intuitive RTS, which used the mechanic of basically being in the sky to great effect. It's still got a semi-active following, as you can see here. It says join our Discord community, download the game. It says experience issues. Okay, fair enough. Now, the next one is going to be In Sound Mind. Now, I'm not annoyed about getting this one just because I already own it, because it's been given out on Humble. It's been given out, I'm pretty sure, on Epic. Like, this game's been given out all over the place. It's a psychological horror. I'm not looking forward to eventually picking it up off my mountain, so yay. But this doesn't change that, because I've already got it. And finally, on August 31, so that was last one was August 24th, we have Summertime Madness, which, was gonna say it doesn't seem like a horror game, but it sounds like it's very surreal. It does say surreal down there. It looks like a walking sim. However, if it's a puzzle game, I mean, I'm not gonna say it's kind of rare for me to see a puzzle game like this that I haven't already seen before. So I think that's actually probably the best pickup for me. Assuming I haven't already. If I already own Four Tales, I think, and Blade is it's okay. Once again, Prime continues to beat out Humble in my experience and my abilities. Then we have some bundles to look at. So let's have a look at some bundles. We got Diamond Collection, build your own brutal dungeon. It's got a bunch of stuff, 5 for 37, so the price is okay, not fantastic. But once again, it's got all of the Bethesda titles in its end. A few other interesting ones as well, like Maneater. That's quite fun. But a lot of stuff you probably already own. I did not buy that because there was too few games I already didn't own. Next one is the Build Your Own Bento Bundle. This one I did buy because there's a lot of weird games in there I don't own. And they're so expensive, there's no other way I would have gotten it without this. So, yes, gotta weed out those horror games somehow. And if it's with a bunch of really awkward visual novels, why not? That being said, the price is pretty good. 10 for 24 means that basically you're getting these for a fraction of their price. That being said, a lot of Japanese games like this, usually their $70, $80, $90 price tags are just overinflated in the best of times. They don't rarely go down because the people who want to buy them have already bought them. But yeah, this is probably the best and only way to pick up a lot of these titles. Probably for a good reason. Next one is the Ripper 2 bundle. Another bundle I did not buy because I already own everything here. We've got a few good games here. Moonlighter, for example, is a lovely little kickstarted indie game that came to quite some acclaim. It's an interesting dungeon crawling game. Nothing too bad with that one. I had a lot of fun playing that, and yep. Next we have Cossacks 3, a classic RTS game. My dad really loves Cossack 3. I haven't played it, so it is on my mountain, I believe. But yeah, that's a pretty good one. Luck Be a Landlord is basically a game where you do nothing but slot machines, which, quite frankly, slot machines in gaming are fine. Slot machines in real life are cancer. And then we've got 2 Life is Feudal ones, and we've got something called Even the Ocean. So, yeah, and Koromon down here, which is probably the highlight and why most people will be getting it, because it's like a Pokemon game. But overall, if you don't own these games already and you like the variety, which there is actually a fair amount of variety here, this is not a bad bundle. It's not a bad bundle at all. This one I completely skipped. Obvious reasons. I already own Frostpunk, and I'm not a big fan of horror. But for $10, that's not too bad. Hellfire, I find the Ripper bundle and the Hellfire bundles, the Ripper bundles, to often be fairly good. Any of these set bundles which have a pretty low price tag are usually pretty good. Then we have the Independence bundle. I looked through a lot of these. Either I owned them or they weren't that interesting to me. I think this one was even still on market last time we did this. Like, that's how long this one's been around. Because I remember talking about how Gemcraft was good and the Pit is good. Rebel Galaxy Outlaws, okay. So this one literally feels like it's been on sale for a month. And so is this one, I believe. So, yeah. They need more bundles. Fanatical, you're dropping the ball. I hope it's not because of all the changes that happened to Steam and how developers can give out keys and stuff. Then we have the Humble ones. The Humble ones are looking pretty okay in comparison. We start off with this Arcade at Home bundle, which, I mean, River City Girls, fair. Red Out, fair. Nothing really jumps out at me as being super exciting here. This is a fairly basic bundle for $22, but it's not bad. Next one is the Cozy Games Collection, and I personally thought this bundle was pretty great. Unfortunately, I already owned a lot of it, so I haven't yet bought it. I need to see if there's anyone who wanted the games I already own on my wishlist. I have played A Short Hike and loved it. I have played Haven Park just recently. That video will be upcoming. And it was okay too. It was okay. A little bit fiddly and a little bit Animal Crossing-y, but that's not necessarily a bad thing. So yeah, it seems like a pretty decent bundle if you're into that sort of like charming, nice like sort of stuff. So fair. Then we have a Cyberpunk Playground bundle. Ghost Runner, that's meant to be very good. I played Cloudpunk, it's quite good. Mutation, that was on my wish list for a while before I bought it. So yeah, not a bad collection. Obviously, this is going to be a lot darker. It's like the polar opposite of the previous bundle, but it seems like a fairly good bundle for $22. Then we have the Baldur's Gate and Beyond bundle. Now, this one was actually renamed. It did have, for some reason, some sort of like pre-order in it that made the bundle like $45 or something as the top tier. So you get the pre-order. They seem to have cancelled that, or at least stopped it. Maybe they sold out the pre-order bonuses for. I mean, if you wanted that game, that'd be a pretty great way of doing it. But still, pre-ordering can be. You only want to pre-order if there's something that like really pushes you into it. Like it's hard. Avoiding pre-orders is usually best. I say that, but I do have a pre-order for Starfield, and I'm definitely looking forward to it. But still, these are all fantastic games. Chances are you've already played them though, so you probably don't need them. But if you haven't played the Baldur's Gate series or the Neverwinter Nights series, then you are missing out in general. These are great. Planescape Torment is amazing. Icewind Dale, it's okay. I preferred Neverwinter Nights and Baldur's Gates. So there's those two. Siege of Dragonspear came out later. It looks like an old style Baldur's Gate and such. It is not. So, not sure how I feel about that one. Baldur's Gate 2. I mean, obviously it's Baldur's Gate 2. And Pathfinder is also one that's slightly more modern. Not a bad bundle for $79, $17. Sorry, not. It would be a horrible bundle for $79. But yeah, it's kind of weird. They had a pre-order in the bundle and then removed it. It's very odd. I don't know where that's coming from. And finally, we have a Myst bundle. I've never been a fan of Myst. I don't have any interest in Myst. Some people really, really, really love Myst, and I can completely understand it. Like, it's a beautiful game. It's got puzzles. But like, there's something about the fake pre-rendered 3D and all that I just never gelled with me. So there's that. But yeah, that's everything this month. So that's literally everything we have this month. What do you think? Do you think it's a good month, bad month, a horrible month? Where are you going to be pausing your Humble Bundle subscription? If it had one less game, I might have paused mine, but I'm still trying to work up after the last time I paused. And quite frankly, I think this is a stupid idea on Humble's behalf, because I have not bought nearly as many games since this dropped off. I've basically moved entirely to Fanatical just because my discount dropped off. And the 10% is not as good when you know there's a 20% there. This was one of the worst changes they made to Humble Bundle. It was needlessly punishing, and it's just stupid. Like, it's just stupid. Anyway, either way, tell me what you think, and I'll see you next time. Goodbye. This has been my Eruption of Shame.